Owaspi's Book of Wars against Jehovih, Chapter 53. 1. Jehovah had said, I created man blank as to good and evil, and gave him liberty, and I gave liberty also to the spirits of the dead. But these spirits set themselves up as gods, and to glorify themselves, use mortals in their own way, for they found that mortals could be turned to good or evil, to war or to peace, to virtue or to lust, according to the inspiration of the angels watching over them. 2. But in this I provided a remedy also, and without abridging liberty, which was that the gods, in contention for mortal souls, should fall out and ultimately destroy their own heavenly kingdoms, wherefrom angels and mortals should escape from bondage. 3. And this was so. Ta'in and Sudga and Osiris, even whilst their wars and machinations were going on with mortals, were scheming for mastery in Hadda, each to overthrow the other and involve them in ruin. And it thus came to pass that a triangular war ensued these two heavens, in which upward of 10,000 millions of warring angels were engaged hundreds of years. 4. As mortals engage in corporeal warfare, so do angels engage in Assean warfare. For though they cannot kill one another, they can bind and enslave and cast one another into hells, and surround them with never-ending fire, so they cannot escape. And the warring gods send their armies forth to make captives of their enemies, who, when seized, are either made subjects of or else cast into torments. And these armies of warring angels, hundreds of millions strong, go into the kingdom of another god and out of suburban districts, carrying hence the subjects with all their acquisitions. And yet at times, these raiding armies venture too far and are themselves captured and cast into torments. So that the gods in Hadda wall their kingdoms round with standing armies, even as they have taught mortals to defend themselves. And their enemies seek to invent means to break these armies through, and go in and plunder and destroy. 4. In times of which madness no voice from Jehovah's angels can gain an attentive ear amongst them, even the same as when mortal kings are at war, for one to say to them, Behold, Jehovah is all peace. They will even curse Jehovah and peace. So do the fighting angels threaten and curse if one of Jehovah's holy ones interpose in peace and love. 5. As like a burning fever or cankerworm that needeth run its course, before a healing balm availeth good, so Jehovah permitteth the gods to pursue their reign, till, helpless, they fall, environed in the harvest they sowed. For a time cometh to every man and woman born on earth or in heaven, when sore disaster, if nothing else, will cast him helpless in agony, to make him own the mighty power who created him, and make him supplicate in pity for some helping hand to lead him safely to the all persons pleading voice. Then he is ready to listen, to turn from gods and lords and saviors and sons who profess to save, and to stand upright before the Father and learn to know him, and willingly learn peace, love, reason, and truth. 6. Jehovah hath said, in every soul I made a door, and in this my light shineth. Herein my voice speaketh, but they turn away and go after them that speak to the external ear. A serpent biteth them, and they are cast in poison and in death. 7. Man on the earth had said, I will not heed thy still small voice, O Jehovah, which speaketh to the soul. I will obey the king that leads on to war, and with loud noises and violent oaths pursueth death dealing as a virtuous trade. Not thou, O Jehovah, shall be my master, but their king who hath great pageantry. Behold, I will stand in his great armies, or be led on to death, even as a king willeth me. For he is my savior and my defense. His gods shall be my gods, his lords my lords, his savior my savior. By blood and heroic butcheries will I provide. No, by blood and heroic butcheries will I prove my loyalty. 8. And even so hath thousands of millions of angels in Hades said, not the still small voice of my soul will I obey, but yonder gaudy God, whose sacredness is so great none can approach him but by crawling on their bellies. He shall be my Lord and Savior. His battles shall be my battles. To feed the hells of Hades with his enemies shall be my trade. 9. Jehovah hath said, even to them that choose darkness and evil have I given liberty also, for they shall learn by experience in time to come that all these guides and leaders, be thy kings or gods or lords or saviors, are but snares, from whom soon or late they must turn in order to rise out of the hells they have built for others. For because they put me afar off, or denied my person, or called me void like the wind, I cut them not off, but they cut themselves off from me, and thus fell into torments. 10. For I am as near to the corporean as to the Asaean. Let them then disown their kings and gods, and whoso hath the kingdom to glorify, and they shall espouse me, for I am ever present. For this all people shall do, either on earth or in heaven. My kingdoms are not by violence or by war, but by liberty to every soul. And whoso practiceth peace and love and liberty unto others are my chosen. They are on the way of everlasting resurrection.